welcome to the biology class. So we would continue 1.3 features of organism. I think this is going to be part 4 about kingdom fungi. We started with 5 kingdom system. I introduced the 5 kingdoms, prokaryote, second one was Protista, and then this is going to be the third one, kingdom fungi. After that, we would talk a little bit about kingdom plantae and animal kingdom. Now let's talk about kingdom fungi. First of all, if you remember, I told you all, the most important thing you need to remember about fungi is number 1, that all fungi are eukaryotes. If you remember, I told you that out of 5 kingdoms, only the first kingdom, that is kingdom prokaryotes or kingdom prokaryote, is the only one which contains prokaryotic cells. It means the cells without nucleus. The rest of the 4 kingdoms, kingdom Protista, kingdom fungi, kingdom plantae, and animal kingdom, all of them have eukaryotic cells. So all fungi are eukaryotes. It means they do have nuclei. Now, there are 2 major types of fungi based on the number of cells, right? Number 1, you can say some of the fungi are unicellular fungi. These are the fungi only made up of single-celled fungi. The example we are going to talk about, or I'm just going to mention it, is yeast. A yeast, the famous one we call the baker's yeast, is a unicellular fungi, and that yeast, right, is used in baking process. It has been used for the production of alcohol. We will talk about this in detail later on. I'm just going to mention is that alcohol is produced by yeast due to or during anaerobic respiration. You can also call anaerobic respiration as fermentation. Okay, which means that this is a process of breakdown of glucose without oxygen. So I can write the equation here. It's very easy. So we have glucose, C6H12O6. That's the formula of glucose, right? And that glucose would be broken down without oxygen into alcohol, which is basically ethanol, 2-carbon alcohol. Its formula would be C2H5OH plus carbon dioxide. That would be CO2. To balance it, you can put 2 here and 2 here. Okay, let's put an arrow. So that's the overall general equation of the alcoholic fermentation or anaerobic respiration in the yeast. Similar process also occur in bacteria and also in the muscles of animals, including humans, but that produce lactic acid rather than alcohol. It's called lactic acid fermentation. Now, the second type of fungi, which is most of the fungi, are multicellular, made up of hundreds and thousands of cells. Multicellular fungi. So one thing that you need to remember is their body is made of many cells, hundreds and thousands of cells, maybe millions of cells. The whole body is called mycelium. Let's use this. So mycelium. This is the whole body. The whole body made of thread-like structures is called, as a whole, it would be called mycelium. And those thread-like structures are called hyphae. Thread-like structures called hyphae. Now, there are different types of hyphae. We are not going into that much detail at the moment. What happens is that this fungi, multicellular fungi, for example, molds, like black bread mold, even mushrooms, they grow on organic compounds, organic matter. It could be dead bodies, it could be like fruits, vegetable, any kind of organic matter. And then they release enzyme, these hyphae release enzymes to break it down into simple molecules. Simple molecules. All right? And then they can absorb fungi, then absorb some of those simple molecules. Right? That's why they are called absorptive heterotrophs. Absorptive means they absorb simple molecules by breaking down the complex organic compounds. And heterotrophs means they cannot produce their own food and they rely on other plants and animals or organic matter for their food. They cannot do their own, like they cannot perform photosynthesis or any other form of process to make their own organic compounds. Now let's talk about reproduction in fungi. So reproduction in fungi can be done by sexual process or asexual process. Usually it is done by spores. Right? The spores are these tiny granular reproductive structures. All right? That are produced inside these sac-like structures called sporangia. Sac-like sporangia. Singular is sporangium. Right? And they spread through wind, maybe water, maybe through animals, but mostly through wind. Spores spread through wind or by any other means. It could They could spread through physical contact, through water, through animals, but mostly through wind, right? And these spores would germinate on organic compounds wherever they can find some moisture. So only thing they need is they only need two things. Number one, organic matter. Number two, a little bit of moisture, some water. That's all they need. Okay. So overall, they are all saprotrophs. Like most of them are saprotrophs. Not all of them. Most of them are saprotrophs. Okay. Mostly are saprotrophs. What are saprotrophs? I just told you their definition. Let me explain that to you. Saprotrophs are the organisms that grow over some dead or organic matter, or some dead bodies, or some decaying organic matter. Right? And then they release enzymes over them. Right? Release enzymes over that organic compound. Okay? Break them down. Break down organic molecules and then absorb. So I already mentioned that. Okay, so absorptive heterotrophs, you can also call them saprotrophs. Okay, absorb simple molecules, just like I told you before. Some bacteria also perform the same role. So that's why they are also called decomposers. Okay, they decompose organic matter, right? They decompose dead bodies. They break down due to their ability to break down organic matter. We call them decomposers, all right? And they are extremely important. Break down organic molecules, right? And they are extremely important in nature, in running the nutrient cycles. Why? Because they would break down complex organic molecules like carbohydrates, like polysaccharides, proteins, even lipids, and change them into simpler molecules. So they return the nutrients back into the earth, back into the natural nutrient cycle, like carbon cycle or nitrogen cycle. Apart from that, some fungi are parasites. Some fungi, not all of them, some are parasites. Now, what are parasites? Let me explain that to you as well. Right? If we go back to the decomposers, the examples are like most of the mushrooms. Okay, you might have seen growing over dead, decaying organic compounds. They are decomposers. Okay, black bread mold over the bread, those are decomposers. They are saprotrophs. Parasite is an organism that lives in or on another organism, another living organism called host. All right? And cause them harm. But get benefit from them. Right? So the parasite would get benefit like food, shelter, etc. Whereas the host would be harmed by the parasite directly or indirectly due to the compounds produced by the parasites. So some of the fungi act as parasites, and they can even cause diseases in plants and in animals, including humans. For example, like smut species or rust species are some of the parasites. They are parasites of plants. Similarly, in animals, let's say in humans, athlete's foot or candidiasis, histoplasmosis is a disease. Histoplasmosis, very famous. You can say notorious. Is basically a lung infection caused by inhaling fungal spores. So this is an example, right, of fungi that act as human or animal parasites. So one of the most important characteristics of fungi that we need to consider. So this was about the types of fungi, unicellular fungi, then multicellular fungi, their structure. One of the most important characteristic of fungi is the cell wall. Right? The cell wall of fungi is made up of a polysaccharide called chitin. Chitin. The fungal cell wall is not made up of cellulose, right? Plant cell wall, in contrast to this one, plant cell wall, we will talk about this again. Plant cell wall is made of another polysaccharide called cellulose, which is basically wood. The paper you use, that's made up of cellulose. If we talk about chitin, chitin is the same material also present in the exoskeleton of, this is some extra information, in the exoskeleton of insects, in the exoskeleton of arthropoda, right? Like crabs, like spiders, scorpions, their exoskeleton is made up of chitin. It's the same material present in the cell wall of fungi. But those insects and other arthropods, they are animals in the animal kingdom. Fungi are in the fungal or fungi kingdom. Okay, so this is the only, a couple of other similarities are there as well between fungi and animal kingdom. Maybe we will talk about that later. So I think also I mentioned that these are heterotrophs. They cannot do photosynthesis. They cannot make their own food. They would not have chloroplast or chlorophyll molecule to capture light. So let's just keep it here. If you have any question, let me know in the comments, and see you in the next class.